peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of the front and last piece and then put it in the Wonder Bread bag. He would put it in the Wonder Bread bag, put an apple in the bag, tie a knot in the Wonder Bread bag, and give that to me to carry that shit to school. Why, man? Why? Why would you do that to your kid?
You're on the couch, tripping with Dr. Pete.
Yo, how dare you be the one to initiate? I feel like now I'm on your show. This is... I don't know how I feel about this. Can I say I was scrolling through. I don't know. I feel like I just got picked up like a prostitute by you calling me out. I was strolling through the streets for give me just some thread of interesting conversation. I'm dying for it. I swear to God, I don't want to go live. I was like, I don't want to go live. It's too much. I was like, I'm just sitting, waiting, listening to everything. I'm like, oh my God, I hate to hate on it, but it was just, I was dying for some good talking, and you called me. I was like, hey, and it's right on time. I can't believe it. Yeah. What's going on with you? You sound like you're in good spirits today. You sound like you're in good spirits.
Do I really?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm devastated because my bank account is hemorrhaging money. So I called my bank, and my bank is gonna credit me back while they dispute this on my behalf. So
I like it.
Now, you know what? I can remember, like, as a whole entire adult, begging for those overdraft fees to be credited back.
Oh my God!
Because they would approve the one purchase, and then all the other bullshit would cost me $30.
Wait, deep into my 20s. Yo, it was way too
into adulthood.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. I remember being like, and then you get the one thing, and then it would be like you went to 7-Eleven for a Slurpee. Now the Slurpee cost a $2.99 charge cost you $35.
Right, because I'm too lazy to get the change out of my cubby in my car. Yeah, no, but now it's nice to kind of not be questioned, to be escorted in to a claim without them being like, well, wait a minute, what did you do? And you know what I mean? It's just sort of like, oh, okay, let's pull up your account. And they don't have to kind of be like, well, you've already had
overdraft this month.
Right. We've already extended that courtesy, Miss Kelly.
You're blowing me away with that. You don't understand. You're blowing me away with that, because I totally know what you're talking about. That's absolutely the case. Oh yeah. 100%. Folks know what we're talking about. Somebody out there, one of these two people have had an overdraft, or 7. It's a great. It's not an overdraft or 2. It's an overdraft or 7. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. They come in groves of 4.
I'm sure if you rally up some of your Hotmail listeners, they'll know what we're talking about.
Yo, why do you love to hate on Hotmail? Just embrace it.
No, when I stumbled into that conversation, first of all, I didn't even realize that your address was a Hotmail address, so that's crazy. But then when you found somebody else who had Hotmail, I was like, have these people applied for jobs before 1999? There's no way in the world.
Yeah.
I would apply for a job with a Hotmail email.
If you're old school, then there's certain things you get. One of the things that you get if you're old school is that you fight it. I think is it's like fighting. Now they don't fight; they just shoot. They don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole different thing. And then there's, I guess everybody's sensitive. Like
Okay.
we used to. Oh my gosh, if these kids had to grow up in our era, their self-esteem would be destroyed. Like like what they call bullying.
Okay.
That was just cracking. We joked on each other every day. It was just standard.
No, I have a whole spiel on that.
Hey, it's Lala. I had a Hotmail.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened to it, but yeah, I know people who still have Hotmail.
Come on.
And I know people who still have AOL. So how about that?
Come on.
Just that old to appreciate it. Anyways, hi, Dr. Pete, and hi, Michelle. I'm just finishing up my late night workout, so I saw you guys were on, and I'm listening in.
Hey, Lala, hang out with us. We're going to be chilling tonight. And Michelle is, we either we're going to talk off of this thing or on this thing.
Yeah, everybody who follows you has like this sexy voice.
Yeah, that's what I go for. I bring them out. Yeah, I bring out the sexy listeners.
So for me, I only listen to people that sound like they make sense. So there's very few people that I kind of listen to because I don't really need folk talking about, what way to be sexy or BS like that at this time of night. So I don't know. And it sounds like there was a discussion about overdrafts. Yeah, I remember
that.
When I had to stop letting Bank of America talk to me when I was younger. I was like, why do you keep on telling me that my account is still open and you're still taking money out of it? You know there's no money in it. But anyways, I don't know. Whatever we talk about, it should be good.
Oh my God.
That's so good. That's so good. Bank of America, why are you calling me? Why are you still calling me? It's over. I don't have any money in there. You've gone into the hundreds of dollars of penalties for M&Ms. Yeah. Oh my God. But talk about throwback. Do you remember when you can fill up your gas tank almost for $5? Not fill it up, but like $5 for a car.
I would say 10.
Yeah, but $5 was a deal. Like even you could roll up to the gas. You can go up to the pump with $1. Because I remember when I first started driving, that was the case. Like if I can bum $1 from a front and get that dollar in your tank, it'll take you there. Now, now by the time they put the $1 in, you're already running out of gas. If that's the case, it's okay. Not. Yeah.
Can I be an elitist for a second?
Yeah, please.
So we did get a good amount of rain down here. And so they shut the schools like 3 hours early. So I had to this is a little bit bad, but the karate school, they were doing parents a favor of going to get the kids, and they were like, "Oh, we couldn't get in contact with you."
So we left. We prepared him. He's able to defend himself at 4 years old, but he's waiting out in the front alone.
So they're like, yeah, we went and we got him. And so we're open till 3. And so I was like, oh, okay. So then I went and I had like a very nice lunch.
Right. Nice. All right. I like it.
Relax a little bit. And then
relax a little bit. A little free daycare. A little corrupt childcare. I love it. I respect it.
And then I went to go pick him up. But when I looked at my gas tank, I was like, oh my God, I need gas. And Jersey girls don't pump gas. So even though I've been down here for forever, I still hate pumping gas. I don't feel like it's something that I should have to do.
Right.
So, but I was like, I'm not gonna go in a freaking torrential downpour to go get gas. And then this is just like a little thing. It's very small. But I pulled into the garage and I charged my car. And it was so nice.
Oh, so you're yeah, hybrid. Very cool. Very
Nice.
very cool. Yeah, let's see what's up.
So, talking about gas, I remember, and I'm in California, mind you. This is when I was 17 and I first started driving. Gas was like $2. And I would be eye rolling when it rose up to $2.25. Now I'm like, can I go back? Because it's like, goddamn, it's like double the price almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what I'm hearing?
What?
I'm like, you first started driving, gas was $2. Like, you're young.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
like,
But shit, I remember when gas was $1.03, we'd be like, "Oh yeah."
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're a spring chicken.
Yeah. You know, by the time though, what's crazy? By the time I graduated, I don't know if this says more about me and my doctorate, how long it took me to graduate, but by the time I graduated school, it was in DC. I remember when I was doing my residency on it. It was over $5 a gallon in 2008. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. I don't remember $5.
$5 a gallon.
Are you sure we have the right time frame? Are you sure Jimmy Carter wasn't president?
we're out here, man, hanging out. You know, it's Friday night, so I got Michelle in the cut. She's you know, we were gonna talk whether we were on this thing or not. So I guess we're on here talking, kicking it. She's my best friend in real life. Don't really like her a lot, but I do love her. So here it is.
I can't with you. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, apparently Dr. Pete started driving way earlier than me. I am older than him, and I don't recall this like super cheap gas because apparently I was still hoofing it and taking public transportation. But anyways, in 2008, I remember gas in Maryland was like $4 a gallon.
Yes.
And I almost decided that I didn't need to move. But yeah, I don't remember the 50 cents or $1 actually even mattering. I just remember my parents could always cover gas in their like, you know, caddy for like $20.
Right. Yo, it was.
Oh my God.
I'll never forget it because, you know, I mean, I grew up poor. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Here we go.
You know it. I mean, we were counting the dollars. So, yeah, I remember $1 gas. $5 worth of gas was pleasurable to the gas thing. Shout out to Silver Springs, Maryland, the place where nobody is ever born, but everybody definitely, there's a lot of people who live there. This is kind of like.
That's where Dave Chappelle's from.
Hey, is he from Silver Springs?
I think.
You just lied. Why do you lie? And you just
No,
lie?
serious. Like he's okay. So he went back and forth between Silver Spring and Ohio.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was born in Ohio or if he was born in Silver Spring, but I know Silver Spring claims him for sure.
Okay, that's cool. Let's pop a couple bubbles. What's up, you guys? You're hanging out here. It's Friday night. Roll up something, grab a drink, pour some wine. You know, get a little bit of a snack, hang out with us. We're looking for your thoughts, so drop them on us.
Man, Dr. Pete, when I went to Mars Brown, I never forget the day the gas turned $1.05. That says a lot about my age.
Come on.
But I'm going to tell you, I knew right then the world was over. Gas was over $1.50. For premium, it was like almost $2. The two in front just looked unprecedented.
He said the world was over. Right? Exactly. See, there's another guy who remembers when gas was $1.05. Okay, well, you know, it doesn't stop there. Hold on. It's not just gas at $1.05. Bread was $1. You could get a loaf of Wonder Bread for 98 cents. Nobody remembers that? Or is this, we're not doing this now? What is I'm
Well,
that
I'm sure
old now?
Fred Sanford remembers it.
Oh, that's what we're doing. So you're telling me you don't remember when bread was cheap? Like, I guess because we were so. I'm telling you, we.
I didn't
You
have to go out and buy
You never,
bread.
you were rich. You were rich. Your family had money. They never even thought about how much bread would cost. When you have to scrape up quarters to make shit work, you're looking at the fucking price of everything as a little kid. I remember my mom sending me, we were poor to the type where we'd go to we'd be at the supermarket. We'd have to put shit back every time. Now, the thing is, it's like, Ma, you can't add, like, you only got $10. Just save our family the self-esteem of just doing the math before we get to the cash register. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you only have 20, then you only have 20. Why are you like, maybe they'll just let this one slip by? I don't know. I don't know. My mom. Shout out to my mom for making it happen, but golly, that would have been nice if you could have just saved this. Every single supermarket trip are we putting back? And then, but here's the thing, Ma, and I just want to say it because if she's ever listening, you ended up having to do the math on the back end. So why? You know what I'm saying? Because now you're like trying to subtract $7. Oh, I'm $7 over. Okay, this is 2. This is 4. All right, and poor people issues. Let me ask anybody else out there who's been there. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, Michelle.
Shout out to Shattered Dreams at the cash register.
Yeah, reality check. That shit'll make a man out of you early. You know what I'm saying? You can deal with rejection early from that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the cash register and they tell you, no, sir, you just don't have enough. Or how about these are poor people stories for a second. How about getting your card declined? No. Run it again. No. You're in denial. No. Run it again. Put it in. Sir, that's 4 times, sir. Bank of America's like, yes. We've been waiting for you to run that card.
Back in the day, Sinbad, the comedian, for people who don't know, he's a comedian, used to do a whole bit about that. Like, there was nothing sadder than a black woman waiting for her card to go through. She'd be like, oh Lord Jesus, please. Please let it work.
Yeah. No, it's real. That's real as shit. It's not. He's just. I mean, if you've been there, give us a shout. Let us know what's up. Here we go. Let's pop some bubbles.
I still don't like paying more than $1 for bread, says the lady who buys like the sprouted whatever bread that's like $6. But when I see like white bread, I really feel like it shouldn't be more than $1.
Come on. Thank you. See, I love our listeners. Lana gets it. You know what I'm saying? She was around. She paid attention, Michelle, unlike you, who just would go and grab things and had the luxury of checking out and not being rejected and having to put shit back on the shelf. Hey, come step into my Michelle.
My parents weren't making me go buy bread.
Yeah, right. See, more of the same. I bet you never had to run to the corner store. You know what I mean? You never had to do that. We had to go to the corner store, lug back bags. And I felt you ever see Crooklyn by Spike Lee?
Yes.
I was like a little girl. Remember the little girl who had to go in with food stamps, and everybody would tease her and shit. That she tried to like steal the steaks. That shit is real. That's what men need. That's Michelle. You're just so I don't know. You got to get with it. Let's see what folks.
Sadder than a black woman's card going through. Being old enough to be a food stamp recipient who had paper stamps that was stapled together, and the cashier would lay them out piece by piece. So there was no hiding that you were on food stamps.
Yes.
When 26 years ago, when I had to get food stamps, it was so demeaning. And so now when people have stuff and I'm waiting and they turn around and they go, I'm sorry. I said, look, I ain't got nothing but time.
Yes. I love her
amazing.
for that. I love her for that.
Oh
And
my
and wait,
gosh,
and
she's
time out.
amazing.
Now, if you're on food stamps, or if you're on a subsidy, they give you like a credit card. It's like so easy. You get to have all your self-esteem. I'm like, this is not what it means to be poor. I'm like, you need to put that pink money down. Have big orange Monopoly bucks and shit. That's what the fuck the food stamps used to look like back in the day. And and you could get food stamps even if you were on. My mother, we were so poor. My mother was too proud to go on food stamps. I was like, what? I'm like, you better get them food stamps. I'm going to school. I would go to school. Listen to this. She hated my mother. Hated she would not get us free lunch. She would not fucking sign up for it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Our fucking lunch cost $2 as a kid. Now, you know what I mean? And I'm like, $2, it's $1.25 or whatever the fuck. I'm like, Ma, you can at least get reduced lunch. My mother's mad, fucking paranoid. Like, no, they're in your business. They get all in your business. I'm not telling them what's going on in my. I'm like, what do you mean they're all in our? We don't have any business. We are poor. We don't have any business. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean we get in our business? Too funny, right? Oh my God, my mother, man. So I would go. So Michelle. So I would go to school, right? My mother, she'd give us. So we'd have bread, right? My mother was the type that she would make when the bread gets down and that you get the white piece and the back piece, and that's like you're the last of the bread. Right. You know what I'm saying? She'd make me have a sandwich out of the last two pieces, the front and the back. And she'd put like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now, check this out. Check out how fucked up my life was. Listen to this. So, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of the front and last piece, and then put it in the Wonder Bread bag. She would put it in the Wonder Bread bag. Put an apple in the bag, tie a knot in the Wonder Bread bag, and give that to me to carry that shit to school. Why, man? Why? Why would you do that to your kid? Why? Why would anybody do that to their kid? So I live in the hood. We joke on each other every day. That's like a sport. Like at lunchtime was cracking jokes on each other. It was a fucking sport. If you had something wrong on your clothes, if you fucking shit in there, if it was fake, like we just would crack on you all. So my mother sends me to school with a Wonder Bread bag with the front and back of it. I'm like, there's no way I'm taking this to school. I would, before I got to school, I would eat the sandwich on the way to school. I would eat the sandwich on the way to school. So listen to this, right? So I eat the sandwich on the way to school, throw out the apple, because fuck an apple, right? So I throw out the apple like I'm rich. Like, fuck that apple, right? So I go to school, and when they have homeroom, I'd go into the teacher's drawer and look through for the absent kid to take his free lunch card. I would take his free lunch card and I'd go down to the lunch cafeteria as like Luis Ortez, who's missing. You know what I mean? He was absent that day, so I'd have Luis Ortez's card, and I'd just be going up like Vernon Miller was absent today, and I'm gonna take his green lunch card, right? So I'd go to the. And the crazy thing is, I didn't realize that the lunch ladies, right? The lunch ladies, they must have knew. They must have knew I was not obviously fucking Luis Ortez. Right? And they were letting me go. They were giving me free lunch. Isn't that fucking beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Aww. They were giving me free lunch. The ladies at the lunch, they knew who I was. I'm fucking Peter. But I'm in like second grade thinking I'm pulling off this fucking heist for free lunch. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like going into the teacher's drawer, like, you know what I mean? Oh man, too crazy. Anyway, these are the stories of poor. Michelle, you don't know nothing about this. You don't know nothing about what we're talking about.
Here you go. Okay,
I mean, there is a mass exodus to and from certain states.
Especially
everybody's
California.
leaving New York. Everybody's leaving California.
Yeah.
Everybody's leaving Texas, but a lot of people, and on the same token, are moving to Texas.
Right.
How far do you think we are from being not the United States, but the Middle West?
Ooh, Mind Fox. Yes, sir. Love that guy. How about that? And let me tell you, the fucking exits in California and New York, you know what it's due to? Real estate prices. In New York is a lot better than California because the real estate in California, oh yeah. New York is rough, but you can find these little holes that are rent controlled. There's all sorts of programs. I lived in New York.
Doesn't that come with visitors that you don't want?
No, I lived in New York, and we were in a rent control place, and they subsidized the owner's mortgage, so they would pay him to let us.
No, but you've told me about that place, and it's like it sounds horrible.
No, it was dope as shit. I lived in a brownstone. I mean, except for the African lady next to me, but we're not going to do that.
Yes, but you said that she attracted rats.
She did attract rats. That's you with the rat issue in New York. You're just happy to have a fucking roof over your head. Let me pop these bubbles.
When you're digging around your car for coins, just so you can make sure you have you can get some minutes on your phone.
Yeah.
I did that.
Right. I'm gonna give you some points for that.
And I was working too.
Yeah.
Shaking my head.
Yeah, that's the game we're gonna play. You know how people are playing games on stereo right now? The game we're gonna play, we're gonna change the topic. We're gonna play poverty points. Tell me a story that will get you some poverty points. All right. And the one at the end with the best poverty story, right? They get the most poverty points and they win. That's the game we're gonna play in Dr. Peace.
Okay.
All right, that's the game. So let's hear what people are talking about. Let me change the topic from Texas and abortion, which was not the Friday night conversation topic. Super heavy. We're gonna play a game called Poverty Points. Tell us your.
I'm gonna keep going through messages. Is that okay?
Do it. Yeah.
We did pretty good as far as spending money when my mom was doing stuff. But when I became a mom, and I was like 20 years old, and my bank account was real tight, I would just look at my daughter and be like, we ain't getting anything except for what I need to get, and that's on this list. And there'd be like 3 items, and then we'd have to leave. She goes, but what about this? I said, we're just getting what's on the list. So at this point, I think her expectation of me 20-something years later is that I'm still only going to keep on the list. But now I don't have to. So we could be in the store forever.
Yo, she's so funny. Oh my God. The list. Yo, what you call it does a great stand-up. What's his name? He's the real heavy guy, fat guy. He goes, when we get into this, LeVar Crawford. He goes, when you get into this store, this is his mother telling him, you don't ask for nothing. You don't look at nothing. She's like, and you don't touch nothing. She's like threatening him and giving him the whole rundown and then making him repeat after her. So he does the whole skit.
That's
good. She's telling him, and I will beat you, like, right? So he's repeating in this little kid voice, I don't get nothing. I don't want nothing. And if I touch something, and she's going through the whole fucking, oh God. Look that up on YouTube, you guys. He's so fucking funny with it. So funny. Shout out.
I like it.
Yeah, let's pop some of these bubbles. Yeah, let's go.
Man, young people gonna have to realize, man, that fun is over. Like, in order for you to have fun, you actually gotta be, you know what I mean? Because they allowed that being offended and jumping on one bandwagon, they gave up the goose for the gander. Man, we need some Republicans, some Democrats. It's not about the identity politics. We need to break down and read these fucking laws and what they got on paper, because it's just, It's appalling to say that go Democrat, and we know Biden ain't been good for us. I mean, granted, I did vote for the motherfucker, but I know he wasn't good for us. See, I ain't even got a problem with identity politics. We got to change that up, y'all. Big love.
Yeah, that's real, man. That's real. Well said, too. Very well said. That's right. That, you know what that's called? That's called critical political analysis.
Yeah.
You're doing critical analysis. You are not. You're voting by issue. You're voting by what, policy and what the person's platform, rather than voting by party. I'll tell you one of the biggest mistakes that folks make, without a doubt. One of the reasons why women are so powerful in this country with regard to their voting power is because they're pretty much split as Democrat and Republican. They don't follow a party. So both parties have to tend to them. They both have to address their needs. But everybody knows that blacks are typically Democrat in the pocket, don't even have to. And, that has not fared well for us in some situations. We have to hold folks accountable. They shouldn't feel like they can just get our vote.
Right.
Because if that's the case, right, if they don't have to create an agenda based on our needs.
Right.
When you vote bipartisan, or you don't even think about party, but vote the person who's going to reflect your community's needs, now it puts pressure on everybody to address. Because at this point, the reason why it's such a dichotomy, that when a Republican's in office, they're not going to reflect typically any black issues. Now, Trump did actually, in all his bullshit, there was a couple things that he did that I'm telling you, I feel like that Obama should have did. I'm going to say one thing, and I hate when Trump says it. I hate when everybody says I don't like Donald Trump. But the fact of the matter is, the black universities keep coming back to the federal government and asking for money and making it be voted on whether or not they're going to get funded. It should not have been. And the fact that he stopped that was one fucking thing. And all I'm saying is, because that's not the point. We're not going to talk about Trump. That's not our point. All that I'm saying is, when we stick to a party, the other party doesn't really have to do shit for us. They really don't. Especially if our vote is contradictory to what would get them back into office. We really need to think about this. All right, let's pop through these. Drip, it's always great to have you, man. I'm so glad you jumped on. We got no show in mind, Fox. We listen, if you haven't put a comment up, put a comment. We want to hear from you too.
I'm old enough to say that I actually had to go to the store and pick up packs of cigarettes for my father.
Back in
I don't know when that stopped, but yeah, I'm that old.
Back in the day, yo. Now that gets you some points right there. Going as a little kid and picking up, and I remember getting cool. I get those points too. Picking up Cools for my dad. Cool cigarettes. I go to the store, give me a thing of Cools. The fucking guy would hand me the thing of Cools because he knew my father.
How can he hand a child cigarettes?
Because he knew my father. They knew my father. They knew I was a good kid. First of all, I wasn't gonna be out here smoking no cigarettes. But the other thing is, they knew my father. My father would beat my ass if I smoked them cigarettes. My father was a fucking G. My father was a gangster. Like, he was not a gangster, like, but he kind of was like, he was in the streets on the corner. Like, he would hit a guy. Like, they'd be out there drinking. And I guess I'm now looking back now, he was in his 20s. Right? So he's a young guy and he's fucking hanging on the block. He'd get into fights, my father. My father was like a fucking tough ass. He went to Vietnam. So my dad was he was a little bit off. I think I told you the story, but I'll tell you the story again. For who didn't listen, my dad went to Vietnam. I think Drip also is a military guy, so he'll get this. So my dad, I get bullied one day, right? And the bully, he takes my basketball. And so I'm like, fuck this. I'm taking my basketball back. And I took my basketball from the bully and he punched me in the eye. Now, I didn't fight him back, but I took my ball and went home. And I remember I go to my dad and I said, I don't really know how to box. I don't know. He says, well, you're going to let him hit, he says, this is what, and my dad has this voice and he's from the South. So he tells me, he says, this is what you do. He says, you get a bag of salt. He says, you put some pepper in this and you put it in a plastic bag and you put it in your pocket. Then you go to school, and this is what you do. You take the salt out, you blind him, throw it in his eyes, and then take the palm of your fist and put his nose through his brain. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was, thank God I had enough sense to not do that, right? Like I went and learned how to box, but my father was that type of country guy. So I mean, like, so he, he was the type of guy he had they have like a reputation, and so the guy knew he could sell me the cigarettes, I guess, because the neighborhood was that small. You know what I mean? It's crazy. This is old school shit. We're talking poverty points here. Michelle has 0 right now. Me and Lala. Right now, me and Lala are killing it, and Michelle has 0. Pedo has a couple points on the board. I think she might have left the room, but she was killing it too.
Okay, let's blow through.
So yeah, we'll blow through.
Look, my grandmother was blind, and she got $10 a month of food stamps. And we also would receive the block of cheese, the powdered milk. There was pig in a can because there was a picture of a pig. It was just, those were the days.
Yeah. Yo, it's real. Lala dropping points. She just got a 3-point on you. Bing, bing, bang. I hear you, Lala. I hear what's going on.
And I had a funny happen the other day. My youngest daughter, who's 13, she apparently doesn't want to pack her lunch. She said, Mom, the school gave me a form for lunch, free lunch. And I was like, well, we can't get it. We don't qualify. She goes, no, I think they have something for single moms. And I was like, really? I think you don't understand. So I flipped over the paper. I showed it to her and I said, yeah, Mom doesn't qualify. She goes, oh. I was like, you're going to have to pack a lunch. Brown bag it.
Wow.
She was like, brown bag about the brown bags. I remember, so this is about the time of year when kids are coming back to school. And so, everybody's getting ready for school. So in the school supplies back in the day, one of the things that you had to buy was a bag of bags. What
are you talking about?
There were brown bags that used to send your food in. So you'd have to get a bag of brown bags to be able to send the kids lunch to school. And when the brown bags run out, you wouldn't have school. Like you'd write your name on the brown bag. I don't know. This is back in the day. But Michelle, it doesn't sound like you've ever carried a brown bag in your life. Points.
My parents would pack lunch for me.
But you'd have like a lunch box, right?
I mean, I've had brown bags before.
You didn't have brown
bags.
You did not have brown bags. You were the type of kid who had a thermos. Michelle had a thermos out this bitch. 100% that you had a thermos. I don't even have any doubt that you had a thermos. You had a lunch box. You had a trapper keeper. I bet you had a trapper keeper.
Oh,
you were that kid.
Everybody had a trapper keeper.
Yeah, but my trapper keeper was the poor kind that would break down. Like it was the one that it had the fucked up pictures. Like my trapper keeper had it was the one that Pathmark was giving you at a discount. So it had like a fucked up giraffe with a green cover and shit. Like the trapper keeper nobody wanted. That was the trapper keeper. You see what I'm saying? That's points. It's points. I'm just trying to get points on the board. This is the game, folks. Tell us your story here. If you know poverty, I just put up 4 points. Bang, bang, bang. Let's go. Poverty game. Memorial Labor Day weekend. It's all about that, man. What is it? Memorial Day weekend? I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's a weekend off. Let's have a good time.
Oh, and some real talk, man. Those fucking food stamps were fucking, man. The food stamps, the wick, you holding up the line, everybody's airing out your business, counting your shit.
Yeah.
It's like Monopoly money. I mean, it's all Monopoly money, but man, I feel it. I was there. I've had that humiliation.
Well, the thing I love about you, Fox, is first of all, you fucking totally get it. But secondly, right, the depth of what he said is it's all Monopoly money. That's how you know the fucking guy is so smart.
Right.
Because in just a couple of words, so much meaning. It's all fucking Monopoly money.
I don't like the poor shaming. The poor shaming is like ridiculous. That's happening.
Yeah, I wish you'd stop. Jesus. you're always poor shaming me. I feel like, yeah.
Yo, you had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches growing up, bro. I had syrup sandwiches, bro. That's it got tough for us a couple times, man. And we had to budget a lot of stuff. Like I became a ramen noodle specialist, man.
Oh, what?
Ask me about it. I cook up a whole ass Thanksgiving dinner for your ass using ramen noodle. You know what I'm saying? What's good?
Bro, you will not outdo me, bro. Please do not step up in my show. You will not outdo me. This guy, he's ready to go. Okay, how about this? Since we're going in, how about jelly and butter sandwiches? You'd use margarine instead of peanut butter. Yeah, you motherfuckers don't know about that. How about this? I got one for you. How about tomato and mayonnaise sandwiches? Yeah. That's real shit.
About to vomit.
That's real shit. That's some white people poor shit. Yeah, I took it there. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, listen, where are we going with it? What are we talking about? Frying bologna and making that shit right? Come on, man.
Oh my god. Okay, I feel like I have some stories, but let's go to your people. Hold on.
Hey, yo, check out these poverty points, man. I used to wear the same socks back to back 2 days in a row because we didn't have enough clothes to wear. And all the socks that I had,
you're not ready.
Either had holes in it or mismatching. And I started a whole new trend with my mismatched socks, bro.
Yo, bro, come on.
Now, if you look at people mismatching their shoes, man, these new kids be wearing like one right foot Michael Jordan's next shoe, wearing some Shaqs. Like, yo, what?
Yo.
Hey, it's real.
Yo, so you want to go there? There was a place called Favor, sir. And I used to wear Converse. Converse, damn it. Did you hear me? I used to wear Converse, but not Converse cool sneakers, Converse baseball cleats because they were cheap. I wore baseball cleats to school, sir. Do you really want to get down with me? I don't think you do. I don't think you're trying to go points with the kid. Now, wait, you talk about because you couldn't change your socks, sir? I had not many pairs of underwear, sir. I used to have to wash them out in my kitchen, in my bathroom sink. Are we going here? Are you trying to step to me on my show, sir? I need to know, are we doing poverty points? Because if you want it, bring it on this show, because that's what we're doing here. Yo, too funny.
Here's a poverty point for my homeboy back in high school. His ass was so poverty stricken, I guess, right? He came to school with some Payless boots, you know, those ones that look like Tim's, but they're not.
Yes.
Yeah, but instead, he drew the Timberland logo in his boot to give him that extra cred. Yo, we didn't let it down for nothing. We were chomping on him all year long, bro. Like, it didn't make any sense.
Oh my God.
So crazy.
He drew it on. Oh my God. Oh my God. He just went in. Why is that man coming on my show like that? Oh, he is trying to come for me. Oh man, he's so good. He said, I got something for your ass. Oh,
let's keep going.
Man. All right, let's keep
going. You know, it's funny how you say that people are voting for, you know, certain presidents. They shouldn't be allowed to have a voting cast just to be the deciding factor. The interesting thing is, man, I hear people all the time talk about, you know, I listened to one of my old shows here on stereo, and I met a lady on here, and she clearly said that she wasn't going to vote for anybody but Biden because they didn't like the way they felt towards Trump. I said, so you just voted off emotion. Damn.
Interesting. Well, Hangout, we're talking about what we're doing is we're having a little bit of a game show tonight. We're doing poverty points, and you have to tell a story about broke. Been a time in your life when, you know, it's been maybe a little bit rough, and see kind of, you know, we've given a lot of examples. I got to tell you, so far this is shaping up to be one of my favorite shows ever. I'm thankful that you guys are hanging out. I miss you a whole lot. And thanks for sharing your stories, because while it's funny now, really funny now, it was really painful back then. It was really painful back then. Yeah, it was really painful back then.
I never had a bag. It was always the grocery store plastics that I brought my lunch into, you know what I'm saying? We didn't buy those bags in the store, nah. We didn't buy a lunchbox. I remember I had a lunchbox, but in California, shit got stolen by this bully. Yeah, it was different, man.
Yeah.
But I look at it now, and my kids don't even have a lunchbox or a pail. I just throw that shit in their backpack and say, you better dig in your bag and get what you can when you can.
Oh my God, he's killing me. He said you better dig in that bag and get what you can.
Lunch boxes were for the people who had money.
Yeah.
I wish my mother would get us lunch boxes. We actually no. I got to use my sister's lunch boxes after they weren't using lunch boxes anymore.
Yeah.
So they were recycled lunch boxes.
Yes,
but I actually have a bag of brown bags in my home right now because we had to brown bag since I was a mom.
That's right.
I only qualified for free lunch for maybe 2 years. No, it wasn't free lunch. It was half priced lunch.
That's right.
Reduced but lunch. Yeah, no, my kids have to pack.
That's
right. They ain't eating nothing. Reduced.
Yeah, they had little markers on the little cards. Like reduced was pink, free lunch was green. And if you had to pay, it had a little red stripe. Fuck. I had a red stripe on my fucking thing. So I was always stealing the green stripes. Oh, you little fuckers. And don't get the pink one by mistake, and now you have to pay 45 cents. Oh, man. Fuck. You know what I mean?
You know what? Okay, so I remember seeing those tickets.
Yeah, when I was observing the poor. When I was observing the poor one day, I saw them carry that ticket to procure their lunch. Oh my God, you're so funny. Oh my God.
But I was just there should be some sort of education around it, because I remember saying to somebody why is your ticket blue? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Why do you need any education? The people who poor and using the fucking lunch cards, we know what's going on.
No, but I'm just
we don't need you to know. We don't need you to know our code. As a matter of fact, I think I betrayed all poor people just now by telling the world the code. Yes. We know what's going on. We know. Oh my God. So you guys want to go stories? All right. Let's real quick, because they just put a couple points up. I need to put up a point real quick. How about I used to steal shit from the lost and found. Oh yeah. Who wants to fuck with me? Hey, now people don't get it. There was a pair of green Sauconys in the lost and found. Now I want to tell you something. This was not elementary school. I took those Sauconys out of that lost and found in high school. I'm a size 13 foot. Them Sauconys were 12, and I squeezed my foot up into. I said, "How the fuck did somebody lose some Sauconys?" I'm rocking these bitches. I felt so cool in those. They were the most expensive shoes I've ever had on my feet, and they were. They were green, and they were a size under my size. And I loved those fucking Sauconys. Loved them. And let somebody ask me if they were theirs. I'd have punched them right in the fucking mouth. I was telling you.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm telling you what's wrong with me. I was fucking poor. That's the thing I'm trying to tell you.
How about just bread? Go have some bread. Like,
Yeah.
I got told that before.
Yeah. Bread, bread, of course. Yeah, I'm saying you just try to get fancy. You try to put some butter on that shit, margarine, a little jelly. You know what I'm saying? Toast it if you can. Take it to another level. I mean, creativity. That's the other thing too. We're joking around. That's where some of the greatest cuisine has come out of. Poverty. The pig, man. The cheapest parts of the pig. That's what the poor planters and farmers in the South. That's what they can afford, man. And it's delicacy.
Okay. Let me call stop. Have you ever eaten chitlins?
Yes, I love chitlins. My mother makes my father's from the South. He's from South Carolina. My mother makes chitlins. Yeah, hell yeah. And chitlins are pretty good with some white rice. My mother makes pig feet, all that nasty shit. I get it. Listen, we're not. But all I'm saying is, like my man said, I could hook up a ramen like a fucking Top Chef. Like they would be like, these are ramens. This ramen has beautiful consistency. I boil that shit down into like a cream. I make that shit into like a ramen pasta. I'm masterful with that 35-cent packet of noodles. Masterful. They don't want it. They want the. Let me hear what's going on in this crowd. Let's see what they.
How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a great Friday. Tell your poor story. All right, I got one. I've been so poor. I had to fucking hang my clothes on the fucking chairs and use a hairdryer to fucking dry the clothes. And I had a friend come over. He's like, "What's with all the clothes?" I'm like, "I'm fucking doing laundry, dude. Give me an hour. I have to turn it over so it dries on that side now too." But on a real level, though, I've been so poor. Didn't have enough for the washer or dryer because the apartment, took quarters and shit and dollars, and you had to scavenge for change, and you just hang. And I remember like going to school with my clothes being wet still and shit, because I stayed up all night with a hair dryer. One time I was just like, fuck it. I opened up the oven and just like hung them in front of the oven. It worked, but the gas bill went up. But you get it.
Yo, he gets some points for that. I gotta say, right there, bro. That shirt in front of the oven story, that just put you on the board, my friend. That was legit. He was like, he's like, I used to be out there.
That came over.
Yeah.
What's
what are you fucking running a dry cleaner out of this motherfucker? Like, what are you doing? Hey, motherfucker, I gotta go to school tomorrow. This is all for tomorrow. Yeah. Oh boy, so many stories. Listen. There's always levels to poor. You know what I'm saying? So in all honesty, I've realized as a therapist, as a psychologist working in communities in some of the most difficult and poorest areas of New Jersey, I'll tell you without a doubt, what I thought was poor and struggling, there are different levels to this poverty thing.
Okay.
There are people who are in deep levels of destitute, and I say that because I was charged with counseling them and their families and supporting them in different ways. You see a whole new side to it. It's like a deep level of explanation, and when you look at the poverty of why we have so much crime, why we have so many people trying to find a way to make money and do, because it's just deep level struggle. That's almost like, fuck it. That basically becomes the mentality. It's like, fuck, like why even try? Nobody around me is making it. Nobody I know has made it. It's like the way I'm going to make it is get deep into this shit. So whatever this street shit is, I'm going to get deep into it. I'm telling you, that's exactly what the fuck happens. And then there's so much drugs in the community and parents who are really in some ways trying to really self-medicate through some deep level trauma and pain.
Right.
Deep level trauma and pain. And it's not, and people miss that. They want to always pathologize the drug addict parent. My father was an addict. He was a heroin addict. And my father was struggled like a motherfucker with addiction. But let me tell you, his ass was a worker. He would do whatever the fuck it took, work overtime to get high and try to take care of his family. And that piece stood out to me in terms of what it meant to be a man. And so for that, I appreciate him. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he's clean and sober for many years now, that gives me hope as a therapist who work with people who struggle with addiction all the time. It is really possible for you to turn this shit over. It really is.
No, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, it's good to talk with all you guys. We're hanging out, Michelle. We're playing Poverty Points. A lot of fun here. Jesus. My pain, Michelle laughs at as she observes us from her ivory tower. Yeah, that's what's going on.
Tomato and mayonnaise, Dr. Pete. Damn it. Kindred spirits, bro. The mayonnaise sandwich, even without the tomatoes. We had the peanut butter banana. We had the peanut butter pickle.
Oh, yeah.
Peanut butter and pickles. Man, when you ain't got nothing else in the house,
that's
just kind of bomb.
It's kind of banging.
I saw a pregnant lady do it once, and I'm like, hey, stoners do it too.
Stoners do it too. Stoners do it too. Yeah. Oh, man. Let me tell you, this is a small batch of a crew hanging out tonight, but this is definitely one of the best times I've had, and I really appreciate the energy of everybody here and who's hanging out with us, and especially my best friend in the world, Michelle. Sometimes Michelle and I, we have our fallouts because we're true friends. You will not meet a more anxious person regarding structure. So if we don't pop these bubbles, she is there's a nerve in her brain, like in her forehead, that is literally twitching right now. It's twitching because there's like more than a certain amount. It's bubbles. So just let's calm her down. We're gonna run through some of these bubbles, and we're gonna talk in just a minute.
Okay, I don't even think I have any more stories, Mr. Every Other. Well, wash your drawers out.
Yes.
And cleats? Really?
Come on, cleats.
I'm sorry.
Cleats. That's right. Yes. I wore baseball cleats, and they had the little tongue out in the front. Like I had the little tongue, like it was like a Converse tongue. They were the cheapest sneakers. They were white. They were cool. I used to rock them bitches. If you ask my mom right now, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. We got them bitches from Favor. Good to hear you guys. Let's keep popping these bubbles.
I remember my youngest daughter. She, of course, is a different generation. Anyways, I sent her to school with lunch money so she could be happy one day. She was like maybe in first grade. She comes home and I say, so what did you have for lunch? She goes, I had yogurt. I said, you spent all the money on yogurt? They gave her a yogurt as a lunch because that's all she wanted, and they still charged the full price. I almost went back to the school to ask for my change. Yeah, I wanted my change back.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's so good.
Yo, last one, man. Because all this is bringing up memories. I had a homeboy that I used to play kickball with out in California in elementary school. And I remember one time we was doing flips on the field, right? And he came up because he came to school late. While we're all out on the playground and during recess, he came out there late. And we all started joshing him hard, dog. Like, he came out there with like a Nike or Adidas shirt and some like Russell athletic pants or basketball shorts. And his shoes, man, they weren't basketball shoes. They weren't, casual wear or cross trainers. Motherfucker had church shoes, man. And I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? We was going in on them, but it makes you wonder, like, yo, we was cracking on the poorest of the poor people, for real. While the rich people and everything walking around feeling luxurious and whatnot. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got one for you, Michelle. My feet, my sneakers. When you're a kid, you wear the same. Your hygiene, I guess, is average or poor, or whatever. You're a kid. You know what I mean? So my sneakers, I would wear wear the same socks, and I'd wear these sneakers until the bottoms were worn, and your toe might touch through a hole at the bottom of your shoe. Like literally. That's how hard, first of all, how hard we used to play in them bitches. Because back in the day, you weren't going in the house. Like, it was like run, play outside, till you wore your fucking sneakers out. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be in school and like I can like do the like if it's the tip of my toe, like I can feel the ground from my fucking sneakers on. That's some poor shit. That's some poor point. I want a lot of poor points for that, folks. Dr. Pete's on the boards. Let's go. If you got the poor point story, let us know. It's a poverty points game. We're just going down memory lane here. And for some of us, there was a lot of fucking potholes.
Yo, Dr. P. What's happening? Long time no hear, sir. Hey, how you doing, Michelle? Shout out to the panel and things of that nature. Shout out to everybody and the listeners, commenting and things like that. I ain't got no poverty story, but I remember when I used to have a wish sandwich where you wish you had some hamburger or some lunch meat to go between your loaves of bread. Word. Yeah, that part.
Yes, my boy Lamar. What up, bro? Great to hear
Where's
you.
Lamar from?
Oh man, yeah, I gotta ask. I tell you, he's a great dude, man. Real funny, always with funny shit going on. Good to have you in the show, bro. Good to have you. Miss you guys.
Okay, can I insert one story?
It better be good. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Because honestly, what we don't want is we don't want you telling us a story about like one time we caught a flat in our Mercedes. we had to sit outside and wait.
Oh, come on. You know how long it took me to purchase a car that was not American.
Yeah.
So you know, the foreign car conversation is not my world.
Okay. All right.
All.
Here we go.
But my cousins, my mom was the youngest, and my aunt like got married the earliest. Her and my uncle got married like really early. And so my cousins, I have cousins that are like 20 years older than me.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, remember SOP meals? And I was like, what are you talking about, Kenny? And he was like, oh yeah, where you would get like a bowl of soup, and then we'd have bread on the table, and then you would just sop the soup up with the bread. And I was like,
yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, Mommy, like what happened to Kenny? Like, why is he talking about sop meals?
Michelle, I knew that your story was going to be no points. I knew you were going to get no points. And you tell you something? You get 0 fucking points for that story. 0. It's not even related to poverty. It's an eating style. You're not, listen, your SOP story.
There was no meat. There was no meat. There was no vegetables. The whole meal was bread and gravy.
Are you kidding? My mom used to send me to the store with $1 and get rice and gravy from the Chinese people. That was like $1 worth of rice and gravy was a lot of fucking rice and gravy. There was no meat. There was no, and here's another $1 for chicken. It was, it was come back the fuck home. It was take that $1, get your rice and gravy, and come home. That's what we eating for dinner tonight. Yo, Michelle,
I never get tired of the story of when you were 4 and had to like make it home.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great story. That's my dad. That's when he was like into, you gotta remember, my dad was a Vietnam vet, and he was back in the day. He's a black hippie, you know what I mean? So he's not.
Well, he fought for our country, unlike your generation.
Yeah, that's right. I gotta tell you that he sure did. I gotta say, as a person who never went into the military, I couldn't be more proud. I couldn't be prouder of my father for that. He was a military cop, an MP, and being a military police is not a little thing. You have to kind of keep the soldiers in order, and so it's a tough fucking position. My dad was that guy, and he was in Vietnam. Fucking just the fact of being in Vietnam alone, and the people dying around you and seeing so much, that is just traumatic. Yeah. And so my dad, served the country, and there are things that, he had his limitations, but there are a lot of things that he taught me. And so a lot of the man that I am, I realized later on that even though my dad had limitations, the man that I am is probably largely because I had a dad. And no matter what, even at his worst, he still was present.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He still was making sure that my mother's word was enforced, and that, you know, discipline was in the house. And you know, and I appreciate that, because a lot of kids don't have a man at all. And most of my friends, and I was the only person who came from the hood who, you know, who became a doctor. Like, none of my friends made it. A lot of them went to jail. A lot of them, a couple guys got, you know, got deported. It was like crazy shit. And so I gotta say that, you know, I attribute a lot of what I am to my father. And it's ironic, because even his limitations, I think, have taught me how to be a better man, how to taught me, they've inspired me to be probably the best father that I can possibly be, because of the father that he wasn't in some ways. You know what I mean?
Deported to where?
Yeah. What'd you say?
Deported to where?
Jamaica. Yeah. I can't believe you're so granular. You're like, I'm gonna just narrow in on this one part of the story where you were hanging out with Cubans, where you were hanging around with Colombian drug lords. No, I was hanging out with Jamaicans. You fucking Michelle. You never stop. You never fucking stop. Does anybody understand her? Does anybody understand Michelle? She's just so shot out. It doesn't stop.
Dr. Pete. So I went to my girlfriend's family's house for Thanksgiving once. There was this stuff. I wasn't sure what it was. Kind of looked like noodles. Everybody was eating it with hot sauce. I got some. I'm like, what's this? And they're like, try it first. And I got some, and I put it on my plate, and that shit was bomb. When I went back for seconds, they were like, that's chitlins. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck a chitlin is. I don't. That means nothing to me. Right on.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that's pig intestines. I'm like, well, they're bomb. I can't. I want more. Fuck it. Yeah. That shit's bomb.
I will never eat that shit ever. You understand me? Not ever. But that shit was good back then. I mean, there's serious bacteria in the fucking intestine of a pig. It's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't eat fucking bacon, let alone eat a fucking chitlin. I would not eat a chitlin with your mouth. I would not. Let me just let you know that. So yeah, no way. Chitlins, I don't eat no parts of the pig. You know what I mean? I don't even eat beef. I don't eat beef. I try to stay away from chicken and fish. Shit, I try to be a vegan if I can. You know what I mean? Go ahead. What were you about to say?
No, I can't. Well, I eat meat, so.
I know you tear the shit out of a pig's ass. Like, you eat bacon. You're a baconator. I'm like, what are you cooking, Michelle? You're like, bacon. I'm like, what?
And
what?
We're more like a turkey bacon eater or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
right. Yeah.
Okay. Because I get nervous.
Yeah, Michelle. My mom used to make chitlins for every New Year's, and when we would go to North Carolina, we would get pickled pig feet, and sauce, which was jellied pork parts. Whenever we would go down there, and we would get the bologna with the red. The red on the outside, and my mother would slice it up for our trip back to Boston. It was ridiculous. It was an orange sandwich spread and bologna sandwich when we returned from our North Carolina trips.
I love that. I love those sandwiches. I can still taste them. How about this? This is how you know that I know what you're talking about. So when you take that red lining off the outside of the bologna sandwich, there's bologna line left inside it. Like, it doesn't tear perfectly. So it rips off bologna inside the string, right? So now you have your bologna sandwich that you put down, and now you have bologna left on the ring, and you have to eat that shit off the ring. Because you're not going to leave that little bit of meat on the ring. Now, come on. That's some poverty points for you.
Oh, wait. Okay, do I get a poverty point?
Go ahead.
That my parents used to buy Vienna sausages.
Almost. I'm almost gonna give you a poverty point. Let me think about it. We'll come back.
Bro, we used to add anything in the fridge that we had at the time, you know what I'm saying, for the ramen recipe. You know, it could be like leftover cabbage, leftover spinach, you know, leftover bread. You know, so you dip the bread into the sauce with the noodles or some shit. Like, you would come up with whatever you could. I remember one day we was lit. Like, we was so high. And we didn't have any real food in the fridge or in the cabinets or anything of that house in the pantry. So what we did was we had the ramen. We had like 4 packs of ramen. We threw that into a pot. I surveyed the hell out the fridge, man. They had like a half a pepper, onions, and some carrots, and then they had some of the chicken that they didn't finish eating. You know, so I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and chef this up real quick, man. I sauteed that food, the peppers and the onions, and then I threw it in there, bruh. I'm telling you, man.
Yo,
Being poor, you the most, you know, Hell's Kitchen who, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No Show is a professional, man. He's fucking funny as shit. I want to thank you all for hanging out with us. Lala, all your stories. You guys, I've never gotten a Golden Mike Award or any of that shit. Like, I've never been into any of that stuff, right? I think I got nominated. I don't know anything about that stuff, right? I don't vote for it. I never promote it. But if I could give out awards, it would be to you guys. Oh man, No Show. Funniest fucking commentary. Really hilarious. Motherfucker will come in and tell a whole story in a minute, and it's so good. You know, Lala, a thinker, funny, lovely, just beautiful person. I have great friends on Stereo. I appreciate you. Look at Mind Fox. What a fucking genius. Comic. I mean, you guys with your comments, I got to tell you, I love you. I'm so thankful you guys are hanging out with us. Keep them coming. We're going to keep popping these bubbles. Where I'm hanging out with my best friend, Michelle. I'm Dr. P. Michelle likes to be called Ida B. Kells because she's always trying to hide her real identity.
No, because I'm paying
Yeah.
homage to the greatest woman in our country's history. But that's a whole nother story. Okay, let's go.
I love it.
Yeah, we didn't have a dryer, but we used to actually hang clothes out the second story window. My parents had a house, but we didn't have a dryer. My parents to this day don't have a dryer. But I remember plenty of times my clothes not being dry enough. When I need to leave out, I was just like, they are going to dry by the time I get where I need to go.
Oh yeah. So that's in a city. When you live in a city, there's a laundromat. We could walk up, but I had to drag our clothes up to the laundromat that was right in the corner. But here's the thing. It doesn't work out for us either because we don't have clotheslines. We have to hang our stuff in the house but what would happen a lot of times is we wouldn't have any more money for the dryer. So you dry like with 2 quarters. 2 quarters didn't do it. You have to figure out exactly what's the hot dryer. It was like a whole thing because they're not.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you don't know these things, Michelle. It's sad.
No, because we had a laundry room in
It's,
our home.
yeah, well, God bless you. You know, God bless.
Matter of fact, I got another poverty joint for you, man. My mom used to love movies so much. Like, she had this big old gray purse bag. I mean, that thing was huge. You could stick a whole car in that bitch and then have room for a limo. And we walked into the movie theater. She had a newspaper. But before we get into the movie theater, she bring all these snacks, dinners in her purse. Like, she had whole ass meals, bro. We in the movie theater eating like chicken spaghetti, you know what I'm saying? We had with the popcorn, and then she had like little cookie chip bags and then little Cheez-It bags. Like, she brought like the whole concession counter in her purse, and we would hop movie to movie to movie. Like, she paid for one ticket and say, fuck that. What movie do you guys want to go to next? We'd see like 3 or 4 movies.
Come on,
for the whole 2 months, right? In one night, man.
Wait a minute. Hold on, No Show. I still do that. Are you fucking kidding me? I always smuggle in. I teach my daughter. We have a thing. My daughter will never know poverty, so I try to make her have these experiences so she can at least have the fun of it. I say, babe, get the sneak snack. I'd smuggle it into her shirt, like, and I'd make her feel like, you know, she'd be laughing with the big thing of Twizzlers under her shirt, and I'm like, babe, you're gonna get the sneak snack caught. We loved it. Hilarious. Hilarious. because she'll never have the beauty of these experiences that, were deeply painful. But honestly, Freud says, he says, when you're in your life, the most difficult moments that you ever experience, you'll look back and think about how beautiful they are. And I'm telling you, when it comes to these stories that we're sharing today, it couldn't be more true. And I know this resonates with somebody who's still right here in this moment where the poor points are still popping today, like right now. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I get that. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're making these jokes not to joke at anybody at all. It's really more so just to talk about, this is a struggle we've all been through. And let me tell you, and I want to say this, which is really important to me, really important. What my life has meant as a doctor who graduated from an Ivy League institution, who went to football, who played football, in college, and that's how college was paid for, on my back. I worked to get to college. I worked through college. You know what I'm saying? It was a scholarship athlete. I was an All-American football player. All of this stuff, this is possible. It's possible to be a professor, to be a doctor from Columbia University. It's possible. And to have all of these poor points that I had in my life and to still be where I am at this point, I want to tell that story because it's not told enough. Not enough people fully understand. And let me tell you this, what's true. And I'm telling you what's true. What makes me, and I promise you, if you look me up, I'm in New Jersey as the #1 psychologist in this area. And let me tell you something. This is not to brag. This is just to say to you, the reason why I am so good is because of the struggle that I've had. It's the struggle that I've had. It makes me the psychologist that I am. I'm very human. And it couldn't be any other way because of what I've come from.
Right.
Yeah, and people really resonate when you hear their story, and you have this non-judgmental feel, like, because I've been through some really ugly shit too. In my relationship, I've been divorced. Like, all the struggle points of my life, they have so informed. I gotta tell you, as a therapist, I don't know how I could have thought I was gonna be a therapist until I experienced depression. And then once I was going through my divorce and experienced the depression associated with divorce, I learned about what depression really feels like and how to navigate out of it, like in a real way, not a textbook's way. So the struggle points in our lives, if we pay close attention to them, there's no greater teacher, no greater asset to our being. I believe that. I believe it. This is Dr. Pete, and you've been tripping with Dr. Pete. For the full show, please listen to us live on stereo, or you can listen to playbacks on YouTube, Anchor, and Spotify. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, huh? Peace.